Hello, thank you for tuning in. My name is Larry Duncan Allen, and this is No More Water, Fire. Next time, I had to, write my, uh-oh, well, let me cut this down real quick. Hold on a second. Hello, thank you for tuning in. My name is Larry Duncan Allen. This, okay, I left that YouTube up loud and didn't know it because the reason is I usually cut it off of my intro, but for some reason my intro didn't play. That's why I had to just come right on. I don't know what's wrong with it, but I'll find out. But we'll go on. As you see, my topic is what happened to white supremacy. Many white people are asking that. But what many of them don't know is that they never really had it. They were given a few privileges more than black people, but they weren't the white people who really had white privilege. They did things like not serving the same jail time as black people. But I'm finding now that all of this has started and white people are suffering, I'm finding that many of them was living worse than black people. Worse. They lived in places you thought an animal wouldn't live in. You had some counties in Kentucky where everyone in the county was on food stamp and welfare. Not had, you have. It's still that way. I see a net. Let me get here. I don't want them flying out in front of the camera. Put a little sanitizer on. Yeah, but look, a lot of them they, they live in horrible. But you know why they able to live that way and be satisfied? Lyndon Johnson told you, like I quoted you before, if you can teach the worst, if you can teach the lowest white person that they are better than the highest black person, you can pick his pockets and they'll never know it. And if you give them someone to look down on, he'll empty his pockets for you. And that's basically what they've been doing. As long as they have someone to look down on, they feel that whatever their situation, it's okay. I told you about the man who family was they were malnourished in very poor condition, anemic and very poor condition. They asked him, well, why come you didn't get them some food stamps? He said, well, I didn't want to be like an N-word. That was back when it was food stamps, not SNAP. So you see, the problem here is that racism has hit them so deep until they'll suffer themselves rather than not see black people prosper. One of the biggest reasons, let me go back. Most industrialized and leading nations, not even leading nations, most nations has free health care. The reason we can't get free health care in this country, most of the polls show that most of the white people say, well, they don't want to see black people get another handout. Well, they've been the recipients of most of the handouts. That's our problem. We can't get them. Ask the black farmers. But you would rather not have free health care, pay these high premiums, just not to see black people get free health care? That actually makes sense to you? because they don't to me. I tell you, that's some sick thinking. You go down in places like Mississippi, Kentucky, even some northern cities, they're living like animals. I'm gonna show you a few of them. And these are actually places that's been confirmed that people live in. Look at that. Just look at that. Now, what do you what type of person would live in something like that? Now look at that. Now would you keep your house like that? Got a little potty train, that's just a little chair. So that means they have children living in something like that. And these are actually white folks' homes. I'm only showing you this to show you that when we talk about poverty, we only talk about black people. So that's why white people can't get any help. They like to join in talking about black people when they need help themselves. In fact, most white people who hate black people the most live like this. They live in red rural areas and don't even be around black people. Out on social media, posting about black people, answering posts. Most of them are bot posts about black people, and they don't even be around the black people because the white people who be around the black people usually are Democrats. So if black people was like you're saying, then why come the white people who be around the black people, usually Democrats, and sides with black people? They should know they're around us. But see what the problem is? Your hatred is coming to task because you're on the decline. All over the world, people kicking you out of the nations. I mean, when the African nations start kicking you out, everybody know they've been the economic engine of Europe. They built Europe. They've been everyone's doormat. Now they're kicking you out and keeping their own wealth for themselves. So France's economy is suffering because they can't get those raw materials. But so also is Britain. They can't get those raw materials from Africa like they used to. You see, you brought this on yourselves. You let your whiteness, which gave you a sense of superiority, come and hunt you. That it hurt you because you so busy. Always got your mind on black people until you can think about your plight. One of my lights went off. You're all over social media on every black post. And most of those posts are bots anyway. All that fighting is not real. And some of it people stage. That's for the first time in my life I saw one of those fights. Where I live. You know what I found out later? It wasn't real. Those women staged that to get likes on social media. Why would they be that stupid? I don't know. And I don't even want to try to figure it out. But even that wasn't real. But you see, Martin Luther King, see, a lot of people quote all the nice comfort stuff Martin Luther King said. I have a dream. All that the content of your character, not the color of your skin. But Martin Luther King actually, at the end of his, towards the end, he was giving some very radical speeches. He always did, really. People just didn't print those. He said that white people, before they give up power, they will embrace a native form of fascism to hold on to power. And we're living in that. We're living through that right now. They'd rather have a dictator go into being a fascist state than to trying to keep them the United States. They have to trying to keep the majority in the United States until they're going to a fascism state. As long as they can control the fascism. But you poor white people, they're not talking about you. They're talking about the rich guys. They're going to be the oligarchs, the United States oligarchs. You all, every ordinary day white people don't have anything coming. Your privilege is gone, the privilege you thought you had. You see those protests? They're dragging white women in the streets. White men, women has lost the most jobs. They're beating up on white women. White men, they're treating you all like you all were black people. See, everything you see, the Hispanics and everyone else, everything you're going through, you're just going through what black people has always been through over about a 400-year period. And what you're getting is actually mild. And yet you're crying. We didn't cry to you. Even during our protest, whoever came in to help, we didn't ask for it. We got out there ourselves. Well, at least they did. I don't protest. So, you know, that's why we can't have any pity for you. Because a lot of you Hispanics still coming on black people posts, clowning us. I mean, aren't you running from ICE or something? Aren't you? Aren't some of your relatives trying to dodge those alligators biting their butts down in alligator Alcatraz? Shouldn't you be worried about that? And you still got time to try to clown black people? Then in another breath say, come help us. We don't have time for your foolishness. You do. I told you, and then most of that stuff you are commenting on are bot posts. All them fights and all that is meant to stir up division and propaganda. A lot of it is not even made in this nation. But you fall for it every time because this is how gullible you are. In those fights, you don't see anybody get hurt, no blood. I hate to you. Somebody get hit in the face 30 times. Face don't even swell up. No blood or nothing. But they know you're going to fall for it. As long as it back up your racism, you'll fall for anything. You fell for Donald Trump, didn't you? Let that sink in. I saw posts about the white farmers. They knew exactly what Trump was going to do. It just don't make sense. They'll tell you they knew what he was going to do, and a lot of them are still backing him, even though they're about to be foreclosed on. So people like that, I have nothing to tell you, because you're probably too stupid to understand anyway. You people got some trouble here for you. Some very serious trouble. You can't. The thing you thought you had through white privilege is not working anymore. And anytime white people get so bad and things get so bad for them that they think that they have to come and beg black people for help, you know it's gotten bad. Only the black people can say, well, how they figure that? Couldn't save ourselves. You're on your own on this. Just like we was always on our own. Everything you're doing now, we did it. Everything you're going through now, we've been through it. But the difference is, you laughed at us and you helped. You helped the races because you one of the races, you Latinos. You helped to do it. To us, we're not helping to do anything to you, but Latinos helped in the hatred towards us. So don't come to us big and asking for nothing. They're just going to drag you off of something. And all you other people of color who are over here, you helped in our stuff. You helped in the hatred against us. You think we forgot? Then you can just throw your children up there crying and we're going to forget? Our children cried too. Our children was bombed in a church. Couldn't go to decent school. We had to have police protection, federal marshal protection, just to go to a school. But the only difference is, you was there to help hurt us. We never done anything to hurt Latinos. When I lived in LA, y'all kept up mess with black people. Oh, you got beat down. But you kept up mess with black folk. But black people wasn't keeping it up with you. As a people, not individuals now, but as a people, we don't bother anyone. See, we don't set up systems of hate like other people do. We don't have systematic hate or have systematic ways to bring trouble to other people. We probably the only person who don't do that. You all have systems of hate. What kind of people it take to make systems of hate? Where the whole group just get together and operate the same way in hate. Black people don't have that. You may see some individuals, but as a people, we don't have a system of hate. Matter of fact, we like everybody. The problem is, they don't like us. But it's too late now. We don't care if you like us or not. We're going on about our business. We don't even care anymore. See all the crazy stuff y'all write on Facebook? You notice black people don't even respond to it anymore. They go right on past it, as though it's not even there. You know why? It's irrelevant to them. You're irrelevant to them. But see, we're not irrelevant to you because you stay on our stuff. We don't come on yours. Some of you still haven't gotten through your head that white supremacy, not white supremacy, but white privilege is not helping you anymore. If you're not one of the elites, they don't care who you are. See the two people killed in Minnesota, the politician, those were white people. You see, they didn't give a damn about them. When Donald Trump mentioned all the people who had been killed, he didn't even bring them up. Didn't go to their funeral, didn't put the flags at half staff. But you average white people think he care about you? You're going to find out. And you're going to find out how much he care about you. He know all the tariffs and all going to hurt you. He doesn't care. He knew the farmers was going to go out of business. He just don't care. Them vans can buy up all your land because he's in that business of buying and selling farmland. So you hurt it yourself. Your hatred towards others is turning in on you. How does it feel? Don't feel too good, does it? You see, when you were able to get your little jobs, you know, they had you, they get you on a job, pay you more than they do the black person. You felt that was your privilege. You and the black person on the job, and you making a little more. You're making more than they do. You felt that privilege. But now you're losing jobs. You don't have that privilege anymore. How does it feel to have been taken? They really took you and made some real flunkies out of you, average white people. Told you what they were going to. You Latinos too. How in the world you Latinos thought you had white privilege? Because they liked you a little better than us? They liked you until you started getting in their way and they thought you was going to end white majority rule. See, you're such shallow people, white people, that you got to be in the majority. You have to be in control. You have to have just about everything or you think you've lost. If you can't have the whole pie, then you don't want any. If you get 90%, you still don't want any. You get 99%, you still feel you lose. You're not satisfied till you get 100%. And then you're not gonna be satisfied. You're gonna turn on some of your own. Some of you starting it anyway already. Yeah, you done walked over black people long enough, and that's coming to an end. You see black people around here worried about you. They don't come on your social media posts to say anything. When you troll black people posts to say something, they don't even pay you any attention anymore. Because they see an irrelevant creature. Right now, little mean, nasty comments, same old BS you've been writing and saying for 400 years. You don't even come up with nothing new. You've been calling the same name, doing the same things, same feelings. Nothing changed in 400 years. And then when you black people, if you have some white friends who are mourning over Charlie Kirk, Charlie Kirk, talking about what a good guy he was, you need to leave them alone. I had one, I left him alone. So that tells the true nature of them. Because the things that man said about black people, I'm not worried about what he said about no people of color and all them. They're on their own. I'm worried about black folks. What he said about black people, how can he really be your friend? How can you really be his friend or her? Can't be. They harbor a resentment. If they fight, believe me, black folks, any white people you know who followed Charlie Kirk and making deity of him and so broken up over him being sacrificed, they're not your friend. You need to be aware of them. They harbor resentment of you. They don't see you on the same level as them. And you notice I call Kirk a sacrifice. He said, this is in his words, my mama said the way I remember. He said that it's going to take some lives sacrificed to support the Second Amendment. But what he wasn't counting on is that he was going to be one of the sacrifices. Yeah, he's one of the sacrifices. So, why cry? He chose his path and it came in on him. See, this whole thing of white dominance is imploding right now. But you all don't realize it. You're blaming everything else. But you don't realize it. You're imploding. And each day that Trump is in the White House, he's going to make sure you implode even more. Let me take a quick break and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Thank you for staying with me. But look, that's why I say be careful. Any white person who's supposed to be your friend, but yet they was crazy about Charlie Kirk or they followed Charlie Kirk. Because the things that he said, they harbor some resentment of you, and they are not your friend. I had one, and they're gonna do the flags at half staff. Brought his bite on Air Force Two. And there was a time when they tried to stay away from a person like him. Oh, he died in front of his wife and children. Martin Luther King had a wife and child. I remember how white folks was making fun of him when he got killed. Mega Evers. Javon Martin had a family. He had a brother um, and parents. You clowned him. George Floyd. He had a daughter. You clowned him. His death. Breonna Taylor. She had a family. You clowned her. Samir Rice. 12 years old. He had a family. You clowned him. Laughed about his death. Should have been at home. He don't have to be at home. He was a little boy out in the park playing with his toy gun. And I say, Rick, I recommend you don't get your children toy guns nowadays. I had them when we was coming up. You didn't have to worry about a policeman coming up shooting you for having it. Remember we used to carry the cowboy guns? With holster. A lot of people used to get it for Christmas every year. Cowboy guns, a cowboy hat, and a holster. But you can't do that now. You can't allow your children to walk around with a toy gun. Times have changed. And I think they look for reasons to do these things. Let me turn this light on. One side of my face won't be darker than the other. Yeah, all of these black people, they had families. Why do white people expect for black people to be so cut up and hurt over a man who didn't do nothing but denigrate us? Yet you wasn't upset and hurt over a man who just preached equality. But when he was killed, there was all type of jokes about Martin Luther King. The only problem is, it was mostly read in papers. We just didn't have the internet like we do now. So don't tell us who to mourn. We didn't tell you who to mourn. I don't mourn Charlie Kirk, and I don't really care what happened. Like I said, he was a sacrifice for the Second Amendment. He was just another sacrifice, one of those sacrifices he talked about for the Second Amendment. The black people, they had nothing to do with this Charlie Kirk mess. They had to shut down his HBCUs because of bomb threats. But there ain't no black folks now, nothing to do with that. But when you're angry, you turn to the people you hate the most. You don't use rational thinking. At least they didn't. They turn to the people who they hate the most. They really want to do something to us bad, and we got to be ready for it. You got to have your stuff ready. Because if they were really angry about Latinos, people of color, I think black people need to get out that people of color stuff and worry about us. See, if they were really after those people, their mind wouldn't jump to us as soon as something devastates them. Why come it didn't jump to the Latino? Their mind first jumped to black people. More out of wanting and hoping than anything else. Do you know that most black people, until Charlie Kirk was killed, didn't even know who he was, had never heard of him, because they don't listen to his kind of mess anyway. I was one of them. I had never heard of him before. But then again, I had never heard of Nipsey Hussle until he was killed. Because it's certain, ideologies I'm in. I just don't get involved in that sort of thing. Everyone has a lifestyle. I just don't, I kind of mind my business, let me put it that way. I don't bother anyone, I mind my own business. And I keep to myself. I like it that way. And so, that's what they did. They came back to the people that they hate the most. 'Cause we're the ones they really want to get. They just don't know how. See, we weren't coming out joining those protests and all. Everybody talking about where the blacks at. Some white people still haven't realized that black people are not protesting. We stopped that back after Ferguson. But people hadn't even noticed because a few was still out there. There's more black people with protesting all the time. You got a city of 500,000. You got a city that has, it says city or area. It has 500,000, a million black people in it. You got 50 people out there protesting. And you seeing all the blacks out there protesting. But when we get 50 white Klansmen out there protesting, does that mean white people out there protesting? All white people Klansmen. If you go by the logic that you bring to us, I listen to the MAGA folks trying to explain different things and who's the fault for this and that. They just don't have no sense of reality. They sit there and just lie, make up their own polls and statistics. How can you deal with and negotiate with a person who don't do nothing but lie? That's all they do is lie. You can't even get in a business arrangement with them. You can't do anything with them because they're gonna lie just to make their point valid. And a lie can't make a real point valid. All they do is just have you lying. They can't further anything, not anything worthwhile around worthwhile people. They'll check that stuff out first. But look, the people MAGA, they knew what was coming down the pipeline. You know, some of the people have lost their farms or are going into foreclosure. They begin to sound, them white folks begin to sound like black people now. Just praying but not doing nothing themselves because they don't know what else to do. They thought of everything except helping their white comrades. And black folks, we may need to start a GoFundMe for these black farmers to make sure they make it through this. I wish someone could make it for them. I asked the black farm, anyone know black farmers? I asked them to make a GoFundMe for themselves. Cause we may have to help see them through this. And just for black farmers, the other folks have to make your own. And see, the thing is, black people, we've never gotten any help from Latinos. We have gotten help from other whites. A lot of help. But when it comes to everyone else, we haven't done anything. That includes the Jamaicans, the Haitians, all of it. You come here, you're not gonna help any black causes, but you're gonna want a piece of our reward, which you're not gonna get. Because before you get some of our money, we be ready to go to war with Haiti because you're not getting nothing. And Jamaica, I didn't mean Haiti. I meant Jamaica. They didn't want to talk about. They want some of our money. You're not getting nothing. Everybody always talking about war with us. That will be a time where you're not getting our money. If you notice, you got a lot of white people around here, even high-level politicians call it the Civil War. They've been wanting to raise war so bad. If you notice, but look who's always talking about it. Do you hear black people talking about a race war, Civil War? But when the black people gonna learn, this white man will scorch this before he give it up. He'll burn it all down. So you all better get ready for it and learn how to train to be able to defend your communities against whoever. Instead of locking your guns on each other. And we're gonna need Pook and Ray Ray in this. I'm just gonna tell the truth. I don't trust anything these folks do now, or anything that they say. I don't trust anything come out their mouth. But look, we're gonna have to stay vigilant. And I know a lot of people asking you all about this Charlie Kirk stuff. You said that I don't have nothing to do with him. If you don't want to say nothing about it, just let them know. I have nothing to do with him. If they keep bothering you, have to do something about it because that's harassment then. Why you worry about how I feel? Just worry about how you feel. I don't walk by feelings. I don't use my feelings. I gotta know what I'm talking about. That don't come through feelings. The Now going to the Democratic Party, they gotta get a backbone. The ones who has a background, they won't let them get into a leadership position like Jasmine Crockett, Al Green, AOC. They won't make them chairman of committees. Um, Jasmine Crockett won, but she lost. The Democrat Party better wake up. Somebody needs to slap them into reality. You are still trying to play by the old rule book. These people has written a whole new book, digitize it, and implement it. While you still trying to take the cover off of your old rule book. Yeah, you better wake up real quick. So yeah, we're gonna have to be careful, these white people feel like they're uh, um like their privilege and their opportunity is waned. They go crazy. And I mean absolute crazy when they think they're being shorted. Instead of you got your mind on us, you need to look at your white comrades because they're being missed over now, and they're not going for it. I'm not gonna hold you long tonight. I just come in to talk a little bit about the situation. Yeah. So yeah, we gotta be careful about what's going on. I'll be right back in a minute. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, so don't get too comfortable. See, they're looking at us, they need to be looking at their comrades. A lot of them have been slighted by Trump, MAGA, and the Republican Party. And white folks don't take the stuff like that. They don't talk about no peaceful solution. That's for us. Yeah, see, that's for us. So we do have a bit of an vantage point that we stayed out of their mess, which we need to continue to do. Stay safe. People in Washington, D.C., go home. Stop trying to hang out. Stop giving them a reason. The thugs in the community shooting people. Come on, can't you relax it, son? You're giving them the reason. Yeah, we don't need any slip ups right now. We can't afford them. Yeah. So I'm not gonna hold you long tonight. But thank you for tuning in to No More Water. Bye next time. I'm Larry Duncan Allen. I can't play my theme music. Good night.